All right, let's dive into what was without a doubt a season-defining week in the SFL. Week 13, we're calling it the Great Sorting. This was the week where everything finally snapped into focus, separating the teams with a real shot from those whose dreams were about to end.
You got to understand, this was the last stop before the playoffs, the final chance for teams to make a move. For some, it was about survival. For others, it was about securing that top spot. The stakes? Absolutely through the roof.
And after all that chaos, all the trades, all the nail-biting finishes throughout the season, it all comes down to this. Just one. A single playoff spot is still up for grabs.
But for every door that's still open, another one just slammed shut. 3 teams saw their seasons officially come to an end this week. For them, the dream is over.
So yeah, let's start with the tough stuff. Let's pour one out for the fallen. These are the teams that battled all year only to see their playoff hopes get completely crushed in Week 13.
First up on the chopping block, Benny's and the Jets. They walked into a must-win game and, well, it didn't go their way. A loss to the Bayshore Buzzards, 127-92, and just like that, their season is done.
Next up, the Neptune Crack Killers. Man, they put up a serious fight. Their running back, Bijan Robinson, went absolutely nuclear, dropping over 31 points. But even that incredible performance wasn't enough to take down the #1 seeded Warthogs. And with that loss, their run is over.
And here's the part that really stings for the Killers. The Warthogs got a Blutarski. That's a big old zero, a 0.0, named after the character from Animal House, from one of their superstars, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they still won. Oof, that's a tough pill to swallow.
And finally, we have what might just be the biggest collapse of the entire season, Team Nash. This team started the year looking like an unstoppable force, and now they're officially out. They even put up a solid 121 points this week, but it wasn't enough.
This just shows you how brutal fantasy football can be, right? A 6-game losing streak to close out the year, it took them from being a top contender to being completely on the outside looking in. Just a wild fall from grace.
Okay, enough of the sad stories. While some seasons were ending, a couple of others were just getting their second wind. Let's talk about the teams that officially punched their tickets to the postseason.
And would you look at who it is? The defending champs, Lick D's Salty Balls, are back in the mix. With their win, they've locked up that #5 seed. They now have a chance to defend that title. You love to see it. So how did they get it done? With this number right here, 44. A jaw-dropping 44-point performance from the Seattle Seahawks defense. They just completely dismantled the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football and single-handedly carried the champs into the playoffs. What an incredible performance. Joining them in the dance is Team Used to Bees. Not only did they clinch their spot by taking down Team Naj, but now they're actually in the hunt for a first-round bye in the final week. Talk about finishing strong.
And you know who to thank for this one. Their quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, decided to put the team on his back. He dropped a massive 37.44 points to lock down the win and their spot in the postseason.
So let's recap. We got 5 teams in, 3 teams out. That leaves us with 2 huge stories heading into the final week. The absolute dogfight for that last playoff spot, and the chess match for a first-round bye.
Now, to really get how intense this is, you have to understand the tiebreaker. That 6th and final playoff spot is currently being decided by a margin of just 10 points. 10 total points for the entire season. Every single yard is going to matter in Week 14.
And here it is, the playoff picture as it stands right now. You can see the Warthogs and Jinx up top fighting for those buys. You've got your locked-in teams in the middle, and then look down at the bottom. That 6-7 showdown between Go to Bed and the Buzzards for the final spot. That's where the real fireworks are.
So let's break it down. Up top, you have the battle for the bye. Both the Warthogs and Jinx are sitting pretty at 9-4. They control their own destiny. Win, and you get a week off. Meanwhile, AI Fantasy Bot, after a brutal 3-game skid, has completely fallen out of that race.
But the real drama, the heart-pounding stuff, is right here. Go to Bed is clinging, and I mean clinging, to that 6th seed by that tiny 10-point tiebreaker. The Bayshore Buzzards are breathing right down their neck. They need to win, and they need Go to Bed to lose. It is going to be an absolute nail-biter.
So all of this sets us up for an incredible Week 14. We're talking about a finale where almost every single game has huge playoff implications. These are basically playoff games before the playoffs even start.
The main event, our game of the week, features the 2 9-4 Giants. The Warthogs versus Jenks. The scenario here is as simple as it gets. Winner gets a first-round bye. Loser has to play on wildcard weekend. It's huge.
At the same time, we have the first piece of the puzzle for that final spot. The Bay Shore Buzzards are taking on the already eliminated Killahs. For the Buzzards, it's do or die. They have to win this game. No win, no playoffs. Simple as that. And on the other side of that coin, you've got Go to Bed, who's currently holding that precious spot. They're playing the eliminated Jets. For them, the math is easy. Win, and you are in. No scoreboard watching, no tiebreakers. But a loss opens the door wide open for the Buzzards to sneak in and steal it right from under them.
So this is it. It all comes down to one final week. We've got one playoff spot left, 2 byes on the line. Who is going to step up and punch that final ticket? Who's going to earn themselves a week of rest? I guess we're all about to find out.